guys, back again with another video. So today I'm going to talk about how to get your credit cards to report to zero. Now this might seem like something that is very simple, but it is, but it's not nothing that's spoke about. And a lot of the times the companies don't even tell you what your closing date is. It's already on your statement. Now you may think that if you make your credit card payments on the due date, you know that's going to get your cards to report to zero, but that's not the case. You have to make sure your credit card balances is at zero before the actual closing date. I'm gonna show you here on my credit report, right? I'm gonna pull up my credit report, and if you haven't already, like I said, download Credit Karma, because this is what you need to be able to monitor this type of stuff. So we're gonna take a look at my American Express, because this is a card that did report a balance on my credit report, right? So as you can see here, I'm gonna just pull up my statement real quick. This is my actual credit card statement, and then we're going to go to my credit report. So right here, as you can see, I'm going to pull up this statement, which was last month. This is a new card. When I got this card, when you get a new card, you don't know what the statement date is going to be until you actually get your first statement. Okay, so see this new balance, $3,250, right? So I have a minimum payment due of $65. Notice that payment is due on August the 13th. That payment was due on August the 13th. But at the top, you see it has my name, and then it has the closing date. You want to make sure your credit card payment is made by that closing date. If you miss that closing date, it's going to report that balance on your credit report. So now you're going to have to pay that balance and then wait till the next month for it to report to zero. So the closing date for this account was 7/19. Now another thing about the closing date, you also want to make sure that it is paid a couple days before, because you know when you make a transaction on your credit cards, sometimes it be pending. So you want to make sure you give it enough time to post. So what you want to do is you want to make the credit card payment a couple days before the 19th. That's the closing date. So I want to make my credit card payment probably like on the 16th or the 17th at the minimum, at the latest, because I want by the 19th, I want that to be already posted. Now also too, keep in mind, most credit card statements run anywhere from 30 to 31 days. Most of them is 30 days. So that tells me that the closing date is going to be around the same time every month, but some month has 30 days, some months have 31 days. So that's why you want to make sure to pay that a couple days before the actual closing date, so you give it enough time to post. So as you can see, $3,250, right? So now, as for my card, right, you see this card, I already made the payment, right? It's at zero. So next month, come August, is going to post zero. August the 13th, that means the due date for this statement ain't going to be until September 13th. That's why your credit card's always going to report a balance, because you're paying the credit cards to zero on the due date, but come the closing date, you already had a balance. So that's why it's going to report that. Now, so let's take a look at my credit report. This is going to actually show exactly. Look at my credit report here. We're just going to go up here to credit cards. All my cards are at zero, and you see that balance, $3,250. That's my American Express account. The due date came, or the closing date came, and then it posted that balance, and then that's what gave me a due date of August. So now that I paid this to zero before the 16th or the 17th, when that statement closes, it's at zero. So now it's going to report zero, and come September 13th, I won't have a payment due because I paid the account to zero. So this particular thing will lower your credit score. It will lower your credit score by a lot. This is what you guys do, right? Download the Credit Karma app, take a look at your credit cards, and any of your credit cards that got a high balance on them, like you can go and figure out what your closing date is, look at your statements, see what the closing date is. It's going to show you on your statement. Make a payment on that before the closing date, and then you will see that payment reflect on your credit report. It's going to report zero. If you pay it all off, it's going to report zero. If you pay $500, it's going to report $500 less balance. That is how you pay your cards to zero to show on your credit report. You have to make your payment before the closing date, not paying it on the due date. Paying it on the due date, you're just paying the statement period. That's it. You're not paying the credit card to zero. Make your credit card payments, pay the balance to zero before the closing date, and that's how you get your credit balance to report zero on your credit report. So there you have it. Pay it by the closing date, it's going to report zero. So hope the video was helpful. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, see you in the next video.